Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast YouTube channel once again. Thanks everybody for tuning in. My name is Ryan Thomas. For those of you that have never tuned into my show before, I host a sports podcast called the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. And I am very, very excited to be able to dive in to sports topics in a whole new way right here, right now on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast YouTube channel. For a long time, I couldn't hop on visually and post videos for the sports fans, for the Bills fans, for the mixed martial arts fans, boxing fans that tune into my podcast every single week. I couldn't post visual, videos. And now I have the ability to do that. I bought a brand new laptop, brand new Yeti mic, working on the backdrop here. Do you guys like it? I hope you guys like it. I like it so far. Only a couple items here and there, but hey, what if I told you that this backdrop cost me $25? Not bad. And it was just this that I paid for. This was a gift. This was a gift as well. So not bad. I'm doing pretty good here with the backdrop. I got plenty other Buffalo photos, plenty other Buffalo sports memorabilia pieces, Red Sox sports memorabilia. Yes, Red Sox sports memorabilia. I know people will give me an eye roll over that. I am a Boston Red Sox baseball fan. It is what it is. Was adopted into Red Sox Nation from a very young age. Grandfather was a massive Red Sox fan, so that's how that came about. But over the last 4 years since I started my podcast, mainly started it for one purpose and one purpose only, to throw my opinions out there, to interact and meet new people, as well entertain the sports fans. In particular, entertain the Buffalo sports fans. The Buffalo sports fans are the greatest sports fans on the face of the earth. I will take that to my grave. The Buffalo sports fans are the best sports fans in the world today. There's no doubt about that. No doubt whatsoever that the Buffalo sports fans are better than any fan base. And, people are starting to see that. Shows are starting to cover that. You have the late, great Ezra Castro, Pancho Villa, who was an amazing man. One of my good buddies, the Buffalo Elvis, the Chefs. You have a lot of Buffalo Bills fans that are notoriously famous. Not many fan bases have that. Fan bases do have that, but not quite like Buffalo. And I mean, they're littered all around pockets of Western New York, littered all around the country, which just goes to show you that it's Bills Nation. Red, white, and blue for a reason. Red, white, and blue for a reason. The best three colors put into a sports team representing the city of good neighbors, the all-American city. I mean, you got this 5 helmets here in their franchise history. You got the all-purpose running back here, Thurman Thomas, the all-purpose running back, Thurman Thomas. That come on now. I mean, what is there to say about Thurman Thomas that hasn't already been said? One of the true GOATs, one of the true legends, guy that paved the way. But I wanted to just give you guys that intro. But I really want to dive into a sports topic that I'm ready to really dive into for the Buffalo sports fans. I feel like I got to dive into it for the Buffalo sports fans, specifically of all the podcasts that I've been on the last few weeks. The main focal point of the podcast is Josh Allen. What are my thoughts on Josh Allen? What are my thoughts on him heading into year 3? What are my thoughts on Allen in general from year 1 to year 2? And I think there's a lot to say about this. So I wanted to dedicate this podcast to that. My belief in Josh Allen. I believe in Josh Allen. As corny as that sounds, I had to make it the tagline of this show because that is really what the show is predicated on. Within the subject matter, the show subject matter today is, and I quote, I believe in Josh Allen. I believe that this is the guy for the Buffalo Bills that could eventually, dare I say, lead the Buffalo Bills to their first Super Bowl. A lot of people will laugh at me about that. A lot of people will say, do you believe that? Do you really believe that? I do believe that. I do believe that this quarterback is something special. And, it goes back to his rookie season. It's not exactly like Josh Allen had a lot to work with as a rookie. He had a sieve of an offensive line. He had wide receivers that were quitting on the team right before our very eyes, Kelvin Benjamin. He had a tight end that he just couldn't get in sync with in Charles Clay. Part of that could have been Allen's fault as a rookie, not really accustomed to the speed of the NFL defenses or the speed of the NFL game overall. But Charles Clay wasn't exactly a world beater. His contract was definitely, a kick in the teeth. But Charles Clay, on the field didn't exactly fully deliver for the Buffalo Bills the way that they had hoped based on the money that they gave him. So those are two major facets of your offense. Your number one, quote unquote, number one wide receiver, your quote unquote number one tight end that didn't pan out, that didn't do what they were supposed to do, that didn't deliver the way that they were expected to, didn't perform for our beloved Buffalo Bills. So there's that. There's also the fact that you have a running game that is stifled due to the fact that this offensive line is really, really bad in Josh Allen's rookie year. You also have a running back that is getting older, LaShawn McCoy, that his game is predicated on the fact that he needs to have that one cut ability. There has to be one small hole opening for LaShawn McCoy to burst through, and then he'll bounce outside and take it to the sideline. That one hole never opened for LaShawn McCoy in Josh Allen's rookie season, and he ran to the tune of like 560 yards or something like that. My memory doesn't serve me right in that regard, but didn't really have the greatest, performance in that season of Josh Allen's rookie year. That's okay. I mean, I wouldn't blame that all on him. Some of it had to do with him. Some of it wasn't all of his fault. Some of it, I would say the majority of it, was the fact that offensive line was trash in Josh Allen's rookie season. You had a lot of dead money on the cap from the cluster, that was Doug Whaley's general manager tenure as GM of the Buffalo Bills. You had a lot of players that believed that, this team wasn't really heading in the right direction. And for what it's worth, I agree. They were not headed in the right direction under the Doug Whaley era. And moving forward from Doug Whaley, they go with Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott first. Then they bring in Brandon Beane. Awkwardly enough, they fired Doug Whaley. Then they bring in Brandon Beane. And that's the guy that makes things happen. That's the guy that continues to this very day to make this Bills roster as solid as it's been in a long time, at least 15 years. I remember even in 2004, or shall I say 2002, when they bring in Drew Bledsoe, they had some guys on that team. Then they bring in Takeo Spikes, London Fletcher. They had some names. They had some high quality Lawyer Malloy, Troy Vincent, Sam Adams, Pat Williams was a stud. They had Nate Clemens, Antoine Winfield. That defense was loaded. One of my boys, Peerless Price, on the wide receiver front, along with, I think, in my memory, I would say from the moment I saw this player play, I would say to myself, man, this dude is so goddamn underrated. Eric Moulds. So underrated. To this very day, I mean, what that guy would have done with a Peyton Manning, my God, physically, far more gifted than some of these guys that had Hall of Fame numbers. I mean, you look at just the physical attributes of an Eric Moulds, unreal. No receiver like that in the NFL really at that time, that could have put up numbers that were better, but due to the team that he was on, he kind of fell victim to the team that he was on, and that was that. But let's really go back to the subject matter and Josh Allen, and I'm really diving into things here. That rookie season, I thought, given the circumstances, that rookie season was a godsend from Josh Allen. For all of the haters out there that said that Josh Allen wasn't accurate, that said that he was raw, that said that he had bust potential, I mean, that rookie season, he had some wow moments. That rookie season, he put the team on his back. In the 6 wins that they had, each one of those wins, I don't know if they win that game if Josh Allen wasn't out there slinging that football. It even goes back to week 1. The Bills staff inexplicably made the decision to start Nate Peterman against the Baltimore Ravens. Say, Nate, we're going to give you the shot. Josh, you're going to sit behind and learn to start this rookie season of yours. Nate Peterman has another pitiful shit show of a performance, and Josh Allen comes in and throws for a first down or two, make something happen here, make something happen there, and voila, he did the best he could, and ran with the situation that he was given. And that's all Josh Allen has done since he was drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Just take the situation that you're given and try to turn it into the best situation possible. Year 2 last year, I look at what was stacked against Josh Allen from year 1 that left the team to year 2. The first guy that comes to mind is LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, McCoy was getting worse, but the run game of the Buffalo Bills last year, I think, was actually a weakness. And I say that not as a slap in the face to Devin Singletary, because I think Devin Singletary is a stud, but I say it as a talking point about the fact that you had Devin Singletary, a rookie, with a guy with the most tread on the tires as an NFL running back in the National Football League. No doubt about it, Frank Gore. God bless Frank Gore. God bless Frank the Tank. No doubt about it. But Frank Gore, I mean, the tread on the tires was so not there as the season wore on. I mean, weeks like 1 through 5, he was putting out a hell of an effort. He was putting on a show in moments. But, man, he really started to wear down as the season wore on. His age really started to show. So I think that played a huge factor in what they couldn't do within the offense. I had a lot of criticisms throughout the season about Brian Daboll, and there's no question that, sometimes coaches coach too much. Sometimes coaches just don't let players play. Sometimes coaches force a player to play the way he wants them to play rather than that player playing to his strengths. I think Brian Daboll did a lot of that. I think Brian Daboll didn't want Josh Allen to be this improvisational quarterback, this sandlot hero ball mentality that Josh Allen has always had. Brian Daboll wanted to get that out of him. And to an extent, you don't want to see Josh Allen play hero ball each and every down. You want to see Josh Allen make the adjustments and fire that pigskin. But if a man's got to play hero ball every once in a while, and he can, you let him. And there were moments where I thought they put the training wheels on Josh Allen a little bit too much, even last season, where there were moments where Josh Allen just wanted to take over the game and was on his way to doing so, and Daboll's like, no, we're going to throw a dump off to Dawson Knox. We're going to run it up the middle with Frank. I didn't get that. Personally, I didn't get that. And I think Josh Allen would have had far more highlight reel moments had Daboll not put the training wheels on him. But hey, I am a believer in Josh Allen because now You see the progression in his game. There's no doubt about it. You see that progression. You know that progression is there in Josh Allen's game. You know it is. But now you see a progression in terms of the supporting cast. For the first time, I feel the Bills are adding true weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Last year, they had John Brown. Last year, they had Cole Beasley. I love John Brown. I love Cole Beasley. Those guys were a huge step up in terms of weapons. Just that next little tier, that next little push that Josh Allen needed in terms of a supporting cast to put him over the top as far as being a better quarterback in year 2 in comparison to year 1. He definitely was. There's no doubt about that. Every statistical category, Josh Allen was better in year 2 than he was in year 1. Every category, including games played, which is important. So, they bring in John Brown, they bring in Cole Beasley, and they helped, no doubt about it. But then bringing in a guy like Stephon Diggs, it makes everybody better. It makes Josh Allen better. It makes the run game better. It makes John Brown better. It makes Cole Beasley better. Having that guy that can get the respect of the opposing defense to double team in Stephon Diggs, I think is really important. I think it's really going to help Dawson Knox out in his second season as well. I don't think that's being talked about enough. I don't think that's being talked about nearly enough, that the addition of Stephon Diggs will greatly help a guy like Dawson Knox, allowing him to get open. If Diggs is the one that's being covered more than any other player on that team, someone's going to get left open. There's only so many guys out there that can cover. And Dawson Knox sticks out like a sore thumb as a matchup nightmare. Because if you have the DBs on every receiver, who's covering the tight end? The safety that can't run as fast as a corner, or a linebacker that can't run as fast as a safety or a corner, can't cover as well, I should say. Not a true cover player as a linebacker. Maybe a one-on-one matchup with a corner and Knox. That's a size advantage for Dawson Knox, to say the least. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this year 3 with these new additions pans out for Josh Allen. I think that's the biggest curiosity that every Buffalo Bills fan should have heading into 2020. But you really want to know what makes me believe in Josh Allen. You really want to wonder, inside my mind, what makes me believe in Allen. And it's not the corny take that I want it to be considered as, but I think that this stuff does really, really matter in a game like football, where momentum, morale, motivation, the 3 M's, momentum, morale, and motivation, the 3 M's, I got to write that down. Morale, motivation, whatever you want to call it. Mentality, morale, motivation, however I said it. I forgot it already. Damn it. But Josh Allen just has this ability to rally the troops around him. And as a quarterback, those are the things that set apart the average quarterbacks from the elite of the elite. The Tom Brady's, the Peyton Manning's, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, those are guys that can rally the troops. Go back even further, Joe Montana, John Elway, and yes, Jim Kelly. Those are the quarterbacks, Dan Marino, that could rally the guys around him, whether it was a winning or losing result. Just the sheer ability to do that is not God-given. There are a lot of guys in this league that cannot bridge that gap, that cannot make that happen. But Josh Allen can. He's proven that. He's shown in moments in games that he's a special player in that regard. The Monday night football game against New England, he dropped there. Sunday night football game against New England, he dropped that dime to John Brown. The Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game, he runs that quarterback sneak. I posted a tweet about that. It got like 50,000 views, that little clip, and thousands of retweets. And folks, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RyanThomasTake. Really love I really love interacting with all the Bills fans out there. But I mean, come on. When you see stuff like that, when you see the teammates rally around him, how do you not believe in that guy? How do you say that this guy is a bust, or this guy is not up to snuff, or this guy doesn't have it? Those are the moments that, a football fan that might root for the LA Rams, he'll never see those moments. Only the diehard Buffalo Bills fans that tune in every single week, rain, sun, or snow, the 75,000 that show up in Orchard Park, New York, those are the fans that see those little tiny dynamics of Josh Allen's game. At least I hope they do. So here's a guy that the one thing that I think he really needs the most, in all honesty, is something that he's going to get, and he's going to get it in big doses: experience. The Houston Texans game sucked. That playoff game was a travesty, the way that it ended for the Buffalo Bills. But that is something that Josh Allen can use as motivation. And that is not corny. That is reality. I mean, you don't learn. If you don't learn anything from that loss, then you have no business being in the NFL, because those are the types of things that happen to NFL teams that make them better. And I really think that's going to make the Bills better. I think that's going to make Josh Allen better. And from everything I've seen, from everything I've heard, from everything I've read, he is so motivated for year 3 and has improved quite a lot as a passer with all the offseason work that he has done with Jordan Palmer. They're very buddy-buddy. Chris Sims has talked about the work that Josh Allen has put in as far as his pocket awareness, trying to throw the ball quickly out of his hand. I mean, that's something that Tom Brady made every quarterback want to learn. So I'm really excited for Josh Allen in year 3. I believe in him. And you go back in the history of this YouTube channel, go back to April, March, of February of 2018, even, January of 2018, December of 2018, I was talking about Josh Allen coming to Buffalo. Not only, did I just mention all the things on the field, but off the field. I mean, Allen checks off every box for Buffalo. He is like the favorite son of Buffalo. Does work with Oshai's Children's Hospital, goes to charity softball games, goes to charity this, charity that. And he's a phenomenal guy. I feel there couldn't be a better representation of the Buffalo Bills as a quarterback right now than Josh Allen. And I'm very excited for what the future holds. That is my take on why I believe in Josh Allen heading into year 3. The haters are going to hate. The haters turn into appreciators. Eventually, they turn into appreciators. So there you have it. That is my take on Josh Allen heading into year 3. For more of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, you can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Thomas Take. You can follow me on Instagram at Ryan Thomas Take. Same. Facebook, the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll be posting a lot more videos on this YouTube channel. Believe you me. Take care, everybody, and go Bills.